Hello there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley. Today I am hoping to show you a really quick, polished, beginner friendly, no makeup type look. I have no idea what this video is going to be called, but this is a look for either a beginner or someone who just wants something really simple that's going to look polished but also not really look like you have much makeup. So this is only 5 products, very minimal tools, and again, shouldn't take you very long, and it is beginner friendly. What I'm gonna do is do one half of my face first so you can kind of see the difference. Then I'll finish it, come back in the end, and you'll see what this look looks like. The products you're gonna need are a brow glue, brow gel. There you go. One of those. You need a concealer that is your skin tone, not something lighter or darker, but your skin tone. You're going to want a blush, probably a powder blush. That'll be a little bit easier to use for this type of look, but no preferences. If you have something that you really like to use and you know how to use it, use it. And the last 2 things are mascara and a lip stain. So first I'm going to start off with my brow gel. This one I have is from e.l.f. Their brow laminating gel. Use whatever you want or whatever you have. The point of this step is to groom your brows, make them all go in one direction, and again, look just a little bit more polished than if you had done nothing to them, but also not put in so much work, aka using a brow pencil or anything like that to really shape them and fill them out, all right? So I'm gonna start on this side, and pretty much what I do is I just start brushing my brows up. And sometimes to make sure you have enough product on them, you could go back and forth. It'll really mess them up. And then brush them back right into place. In the front of your brow, go up. And once you go towards the end, start to go, a little bit more diagonal to almost just brushing down by the end of your brow. So once you've brushed it through a few times and you feel like they're kind of starting to lay to your face, what you'll do is you'll take the laminating brush or the spoolie, whatever you got, and just slide it along the top of your brow. There we go. So as you can see, maybe there's a little bit of product that's building up on mine, only because I've already started this step. I had to put my son down for his nap. But all I do to fix that is I just take a finger and rub it around my brow, top and bottom. And then I may press that down, but that's it. I think you can see the difference. And that's step 1. Next is going in with a skin tone concealer. So pretty much why you're using a concealer instead of a foundation is so you get the coverage of a concealer, but you don't have to worry about putting something all over your face. We are just going to spot conceal wherever you have a blemish or an area that may be a different color than most of your face. That's where we're gonna put this product, right? So I have this NARS, I think pot concealer, soft matte pot concealer. The color that's kind of close to me is Amande. Using this little brush, and I'm just going to tap it on places that have a little bit discoloration for me. They don't have, not really working with too many blemishes at the moment, but I get skin discoloration in this little pocket around my mouth. And also you're gonna wanna put this under your eyes. Now, if you do not have a pot concealer, but have a concealer that is liquid and you got like that little tube and you gotta take it out, I would recommend putting it on your hand first. So like how I'm going into this pot, make your hand your pot. Put the concealer on your hand, then go in with your brush or whatever tool you're using and take it off of your hand. That will help make sure that you do not use too much product. And I think, hoping this lighting is doing it justice. But, is that better? I don't know. So, We're trying here, dude. We're trying. So now what you're gonna do is you're going to go in and you're going to blend. So what you want to do is focus where you first put the product and kind of tap that in and out. Tapping motions are great. And then once that part is concealed, if you had like a blemish and it was red, and like, so the redness is gone or anything like that, then you start to slowly work your way around the edges until the color is all the same. I may turn so I can get some better lighting. Hold on. I think this is better. Maybe. It's easier to see this step, right? So again, I focus right here and then I just go around the edges. And same for your eyeball, your under eye concealer. You may be able to tell, but right here it just looks a little bit darker than this part of my skin. This is my summer shade. So what I want to do again is focus on where I want the concealer, which is right up under my eye. Just using some tapping motions where it gets kind of, where it's darker. And then once that's kind of blended out, I will slowly start to work on the edges of where I put it until you can't see the difference of where it starts and where it stops. You don't want to go too far. You want to stay like, you know, above this top part of your cheek, but that is where it's cool to kind of blend it out. This is why you don't want to use too much product so that you won't be blending into the rest of your face. But as you can see, you can't really see where the concealer and the rest of my skin start and stop. And that is what you want to do. All right. Well, we're almost there. All right. Now, next step is blush. If you are a beginner with makeup, blush sometimes may be a little bit scary because it looks like a lot of color. Note that once you've put it on, once you've blended it, it takes a lot of blush to be scary. Like all it's doing is adding color and a blush to your face. And it takes a lot for it not to look natural. So don't be scared. It's just that you're going from literally 0 to what seems like 100 because you're going from no color to some color on your face. So don't be nervous. The technique I will say is first start in this little area right under your eye. You see what I'm talking about? Like, this is where I want to start putting my product. Just on the top of the cheekbone pretty much. And again, you can see everything I'm doing is tapping motions. And as you tap, you kind of stay right here first. And then once you've tapped a good number of times and most of your product is already applied, then you go just to the apple of your cheek, just a little bit, not too much. And as you can see, it looks fairly natural. It looked like I was putting on a lot when I first started because, again, going from 0 to 100. But as you can see, it looks super natural. And there is a difference in the size of my face, right? I'm going to do, let's call it 2 coats because I do love me some blush. And again, I'll start in this little part right under my eye and then bring just a little bit to the front. What you want to do is make sure you stay above, I'll say the hollow of your cheek. How to know where that is? Go from the corner of your mouth and kind of just make a line to your ear. And that's pretty much where you want to stay above when you're doing blush. You don't want to go way down here. It's not gonna look bad, but they could potentially look better. All right. Now the last step what I'm going to do with my blush is I'm going to take one more tap and go over my eye. This is just going to bring a little bit of color and bring all the face together. That's it. When it comes to blush colors, use something you like. Nothing you like. Make sure you can see it on your skin. Doesn't have to be too light, doesn't have to be too dark. It could be pink, it could be this color. This is Raisin by MAC. You could do a nice flushed pink, whatever you want. You're using technique, right? You're not being too heavy-handed. So now we're on to the last 2 steps, which are mascara and lippy. So what you're gonna do for your mascara is Just go slow. Mascara is not difficult. It does get messy if you go too fast. So the plan is to just take your time. Make sure you go into the little lashes on the inner corner. And try to make sure you get to the tippy tops of your lashes, especially if they're curly. It makes a difference if the top of the lash gets coated. Another tip is to kind of start at the edge of your lash, or the very base, I'll say, like almost touching your skin, because that'll help bring a little bit of product to the line of your eye, and it'll make it look like you almost put on a little bit of liner. All this does is emphasize your eyes, help them make it look brighter, you know, just bring a little more light to it. Lift. You see? Not too much. So what I would recommend if you're doing your whole face is like do these steps on both sides at the same time, not just one. And what I would do for mascara is I would do one eye, then go to the other, and then come right back and do 2 to 3 coats of it. And then if you are going to an event, or you may be taking some photos or something, and this is the look that you're actually going for, I would then put just a little bit on the bottom. For every day, I usually don't worry about my bottom lash, but if I may be taking a photo or two, I will, because again, it just opens up the eye a little bit more. It adds some contrast. All right, so we are almost done with the look. Last step is a lip stain. With a lip stain, why I recommend that over like a lip gloss or a lip balm is once the main portion that I'm about to apply right now kind of wears off, you eat, it's been a couple hours, you're gonna have color still on your lips, and that really helps when you don't want to have to worry about reapplying or what your face looks like later on. It's just a really easy situation. My favorites right now are the NYX Liquid IV. This is in Mocha Me Wet, and there also is a really good one from e.l.f. Called Cinnamon Dreams. It's like a nice brown color, not too pink, not too red. So those are my faves. When you do this, don't be nervous. Go in. The main thing you want to do is just make sure you take this a little bit extra time around the edge of your lip so that you line it somewhat with your stain. And there you go. That's it. So I think you could tell a difference. You could see, like, I'm not like, if you just saw me here. Okay, if you just saw me like this, because of my lip, yeah, like, think I have something on, but like otherwise, like, you really wouldn't think, oh, that girl has done a lot of makeup. But then you go to this side, it's like, oh, like, she's cute. But then, like, oh, polished up, put in a little bit of effort. Okay, like, that's the point. To make you look like you put in a little bit of effort. All right, so I'm gonna finish my other side of my face and then be right back. Okay, it's done. This is the look. I think it looks very polished. I think the lip for me is giving like, oh no, it's like she put on makeup. If I had on a much more natural lip, then it would probably tone it down a little bit. But I think that is also a way to know how to dress it up a little bit. Do a darker or bolder lip, and you will look like you did something, because you did do something. Mind you, the base was beautiful, wonderful. We just polished it just a little bit. Last little tip I'll give you is whenever it comes to mascara, if you were going in and you got mascara like on your lid or under your eye, how to get that off. Let it dry. Go on and do your lip or another thing, or I don't know, put on your clothes if you haven't gotten dressed yet. Then once it's dry, go in with a Q-tip, dry Q-tip, and just slowly brush out wherever you got it on your skin. Do not forget to do the step if you go and do something else. Like, remember, you need to go and take off that mascara, but that is a really quick and easy way to get it off. You don't want to try and remove it whenever it's wet, because then it's just going to spread and make a mess. But once it dries down, it comes off so easy. So yes, that is my tip. That is this look. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you try it, especially if you love a little polished, no makeup-ish, somewhat makeup look. All right, I will see you in my next one. Bye.